You can hear it. You can feel it. Just the thought of going to a commercial gym can produce the adrenaline flow, the anxiety, the internal reaction nobody would ever desire. So the question is, how do we get from this to this? So let's take a look at the 7 most common things that keep people away from getting to the gym and starting the gym. 1 is fear of being judged, body image issues, intimidation by gym culture, fear of embarrassment, social anxiety, past negative experiences, and comparison to others. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to break these down into different color categories because several of these are actually connected together. All right, let's start with fear of embarrassment. To me, this is the toughest thing because a lot of people really don't know what they would be embarrassed of. They have a fear of it, but they don't know what exactly they are fearing. Are they fearing not being able to do the exercise correctly and then somebody will judge them on that? Are they fearful that they're embarrassed because maybe they're 400 pounds overweight? Who knows? And they're worried about being embarrassed because of that. And if that's the case, that falls into one or more of the other categories, more of the red categories on the chart. And so I would look at what I provide for those to be able to overcome that issue. So try to identify exactly what it is, and if you can't, maybe seek professional help with that. But knowledge is key here with most people and embarrassment. I rank this up there with public speaking. The reason why most people have a fear of public speaking is they are in fear of being embarrassed, of not performing correctly. But if you know the subject in and out, I mean, you really know it, that fear will dissipate right away or be greatly reduced. You won't have any fear that will stop you from giving the speech. So knowledge is the key with this one. You might be worried about being ridiculed because you don't do an exercise correctly. And if that is enough to keep you from the gym, find one exercise. Go to YouTube or wherever and learn how to do that exercise. Go to the gym, perform that one exercise, and then go home if necessary. Now you know how to do one exercise, then learn maybe 2 more, go back to the gym. Now you can do 3 exercises. And so my point here is once you identify it, learn as much knowledge as you can with that subject, and that will help you get over that fear of embarrassment. And again, this one more than any other, although it applies to all, seek professional help if this keeps you from permanently becoming healthier in the future by going to the gym and working out. Being embarrassed now, or worried about being embarrassed is a better way to put it, and trading that off for a healthier lifestyle in the future where you actually are healthier and you're not as sick and you don't have as many pains and issues that come up. That is not worth the embarrassment. Now, I'm not nullifying or minimizing embarrassment as a big issue. It could be the biggest issue on here. But again, I think once you identify it, you can then apply knowledge that will help you get over it. All right, let's move on to the red category. And this is the category that kept me from wanting to go to the gym for a while, which kept me buying all kind of equipment for my house so I didn't have to go to the gym and face these. And that is the fear of being judged, body image issues, and comparison to others. And if I knew what I knew now, I would slap myself back when I was 21, 22 years old, because nobody judges you by how you look at the gym. I know that's going to be hard to believe, but it's almost the opposite of the common belief system. People at the gym, especially the more people go and the more dedicated they are and the years go by, the more they actually judge people who don't go to the gym, not those who go. Now, you can have comparison, and I'm going to get into that in a second, and that can be used in a positive way. But the fear of being judged, you should just eliminate it, because nobody is judging. I don't care how overweight you are. I don't care how strong or not strong, how weak you are, how clumsy you are. Nobody wants to, in fact, everybody wants to be positive towards you, so you keep coming. This is when you get into the gym culture. We talked about this. When you become one of the gym rats, so to speak, you will understand by that time that you are being judged positively, no matter who you are there. Everybody genuinely wants to help. You know why? Because it's hard, it's tough. And being dedicated to go there to see changes over years, not days or weeks, but over months and years, that is something that most people in the world never stick to. And so the body image issues, don't worry about it. Nobody's judging you that way. In fact, everybody wants you to improve no matter where you are. And comparison to others. Now, the comparison to the others and body image issues, I have turned that to the other side of the coin, so to speak. I have used that through the years, comparison to others, to advance myself. For example, if I was at a certain level of muscular size, and my thing was always size because I was ridiculed in school and everything, and growing up for being skinny. I was skinny fat. So I had it in my mind I wanted size above all other things. That's what eventually motivated me to keep coming to the gym regularly, was the pursuit of size. And when I finally realized that I wasn't going to get size by not going to the gym, then I went to the gym all the time. So what I would do is I would pick somebody out who was slightly bigger than me. And that was my goal. My goal was to get to their size. And then over time, I would. Now, usually you have to pick out people that are going to the gym regularly. And you get to figure who that is pretty fast. You get to see the familiar faces, especially if you tend to go at the same time at the gym every day, which is a common thing. And so when I got to that person's size, then I would pick somebody else out slightly bigger than that guy and slightly bigger than me now. And that would be my next person to conquer, so to speak. Although I wasn't literally conquering them, I was conquering my own body to get to that size. Once I got to that size, I picked out someone larger, and I just kept doing that. And that was my motivation to keep going. And so if 1, 2, or 7 on the screen here are your issues, trust me, people are not judging you negatively if you don't look as good as they do or whatever. That's not the thing. At the gym, you judge yourself by yourself, or like I just said, if you find somebody better, quote unquote, than you are with how they look, you make that your goal. Okay, that leaves us with these two right here: intimidation by gym culture and social anxiety. Now I'm going to cover social anxiety first, and I believe these two are related because both of these has to do with how you interact with others directly at the gym. But there is going to be what I call the number one rule that should never be broken. If you don't break this rule, you're going to be fine at the gym. If you do break the rule, you might get somebody who never gets over it, and they're always going to look at you in the negative way. So there's one that you got to remember, and I'm going to reveal that in a minute. And I'm calling this the nuclear option level 7. It's a level 7 etiquette violation on a scale of 1 to 7. And so we'll get there in a minute, but it does fall under number 3. So we'll get there in a second. So for social anxiety, I have a action plan that I think if you follow this list right here, then you are going to be fine, or you'll know where to go next. And number 1 on the list is the 5-minute exposure. And this is a combination of you pick just a few minutes you're going to be at the gym. Let's say it's 5. And you go to the safest place that you see at the gym. This might be the cardio area, or where the rowers are, or it might be where the stationary bikes are located. Wherever that is that seems less intimidating to you, go there first. Try to stick it out 5 minutes. If you do, you've hit your goal for the day. You can turn around and leave and come back the next time. When you come back the next time, you increase that 5 minutes to maybe 8 or 10 minutes. Slowly but surely, you're going to build that time up. And then you can combine going into another zone of the gym that is the next level least intimidating to you. And this is how you can build in over time. It won't take that long, to being a regular gym goer that doesn't produce anxiety with you thinking, oh, I have to go to the gym now, and then you get these anxious feelings in you. That's one plan. The next one is the icebreaker strategy, which is simply bring a friend or a relative to be a social bufferer, preferably somebody who's used to the gym or whatever, but it doesn't have to be. But just bring someone. There's always, with humans, we take comfort in being around others, and sharing our anxiety with them maybe will help you to absorb it. So that's strategy number 2. Next on the list is off-peak training. This is pretty self-explanatory. Find out when you sign up at the gym, what are the busiest hours at the gym, and avoid those. The busiest hours are generally when people get off of work, when they first get off of work, and just before they go to work in the morning. It can depend on your local area, but generally speaking, anything 5:30 a.m. to about 8:30 a.m. is very busy. About 3:30 to 4 p.m. it starts getting busy at the gym, and the busiest of the busy is generally 5 to 7 p.m. And so that's just an easy time management thing. The next one is the audio shield, which is use headphones to stay in your own bubble. Now you're going to find most people are using headphones or earbuds anyway, and they are in their own bubble listening to their music or whatever. But this does help with social anxiety. It keeps you isolated. Pick music or something calm that you find will help you calm your anxiety. And as you will find with time, as you get acclimated, you're going to switch from that to music that helps you press maybe a little harder or whatever at the gym. And this is mostly what people are doing, people that are serious at the gym anyway. They usually have a playlist that they end up using to keep them more focused and energetic and all that sort of stuff, gym stuff. Last is, if none of this works and you can't think of any other way and you just have this feeling in your gut that you can't overcome to get to the gym, then the thing there is to get professional support. And that's either counseling professionally or counseling with a friend or relative. If it feels insurmountable, you owe it to yourself to do this. You do not want social anxiety to be the thing that keeps you from the gym. What you have to look at is the future. On the screen right now, your future, your choice. No matter how old you are right now, you're going to end up in your 50s and 60s and beyond at some point. And you're either going to be closer to the person on the left or closer to the person on the right. This is not even coming close to listing all the advantages that added muscle mass gives you versus not adding muscle mass. And it says on this chart, zero muscle gain. In reality, that's the highest you will get. And that's not even realistic, because if you don't train after a certain age, you're going to lose muscle. In fact, you lose muscle every single year if you're not training. Muscle is the key to longevity, and healthcare is finally catching up to this. I've known this for 30 years, and they're finally starting to say it. And why are they starting to say it? Because they're forced to. Why didn't they say it before? Because there's no money in it. And so look at this. Which one do you want as your future? The guy on the left or the guy on the right? And it doesn't matter what age you start. I totally got out of shape because of different reasons in my 50s. I've shown it before, I'll show it again. And I came back. And I'm bigger now and stronger now than I ever was in my 20s, 30s, or 40s, even when I was lifting regularly. So it's never too late until you get some sort of disease or some sort of thing that diminishes you to where going to the gym isn't going to fix it. You don't want that, guys. And again, if you have something like injuries or things you need to work around, join the club. That's everybody. And I'm going to be doing videos to help people learn how to work around different things, different injuries. And so let's get to intimidation by gym culture. Confusion over gym slang and terminology. This is an easy one. Let's say you're on a street somewhere and you see a tourist that is struggling with your language. They're from, let's say, France, and they are asking you directions somewhere. How are you going to feel towards that person because they don't have enough English really to communicate? Well, you're going to help them the best you can, and you don't look down upon them at all because they don't know the terminology. They're new. And this is the way you got to look at people at the gym, because they are not judging you on terminology. If you don't know the terminology, a gym veteran will recognize this, and just like helping someone who is from another country get through it, that's what they're going to do. They're going to help you get through it, and they're not going to judge you whatsoever. Lack of technical exercise knowledge. Unless your gym is extremely small, there isn't a person there that's going to know how to run every single machine or know how everything works. It's just the way it is. I've got over 4 decades in the gym and talked to tons of people, and nobody looks down upon somebody else who doesn't know how to do something. In fact, after a while you learn the thing to do is go to the biggest guy you can see and ask him. And guess what? He's probably going to be the nicest guy you've met all day. Do not let this stop you whatsoever. It is a non-factor. Let's move on to perception of the gym as an expert-only space. This is very related to what we just covered. There is no one expert at the gym. There are many so-called experts, and they're not elevating themselves in their own minds because they happen to know how most of the things work there. It is not a hierarchy. When I first started going to the gym, maybe in the 1990s, it was looked at like that, but it's just not that way anymore. There's too many gyms, and people have been going for too long now. And the expert-only space, especially the free weight space, is not expert. I see people doing all kind of things in the free weight area that I would not see them do anywhere else. But guess what? They could be experimenting. There are many exercise variations that are out there that people are doing at the gym. And so most people know this, and there's no judgment whatsoever on this either. And probably, especially at the free weight area, because those are the people that are used to going to that area, and they see all kind of different things. Just the way it is. This is an interesting one. Fear of improper machine use. What you will find is a lot of machines are definitely confusing. And just when you need somebody who works there to be able to be available to teach you how to use it, they're not there. And asking someone is fine if they know how to use the machine. There are plenty I don't know how to use. But what's interesting about this one is sometimes you see people trying to do things on a machine that it wasn't intended to do, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But the biggest thing with this one is to make sure you know how to work the machine, if for no other reason then you don't want to get hurt, because these machines will not give if you're trying to move in a direction it doesn't want you to move in. And that's the biggest thing to take away from this. You should have a respect for knowing how to use the machine. The directions can be kind of crazy on some of them. Some I can figure out and some I can't. So again, if you don't know how to do it and you can't find somebody that has used the machine before, then wait for somebody at the gym to be available so that they can explain it to you. They are supposed to be able to know how to use every machine there, the workers. So utilize that. All right, we finally get to the last one, which is ignorance of unspoken etiquette and rules. And we will spend a little bit of time on this one because in this category is where we're going to end up with the nuclear bomb of all things you don't want to do. So let's cover some of the, in a lot of ways this is miscellaneous, so let's cover a lot of that. Dropping weights. It's going to happen. Some people are just built that way where they love to slam the weights around, and I don't particularly like it. I don't like to hear the slamming of weights, but guess what? If you are around people doing deadlifts, they're going to slam the weights. It's just the way the exercise is performed. And this goes back to getting headphones and stuff like that, so that, or earbuds, so that you can ignore that the best you can. If you are one of the ones that ends up being a weight slammer, just make sure when you slam the weights down, it's not going to hit into anyone. Re-racking of the weights. You go to a bar and it's empty and you put several plates on because that's what you're working out with. And when you're done, you don't strip all the weights off. You leave some on and you walk away. That is a pet peeve of mine. Please don't do that. Most guys at the gym do not like when people do that. And you will notice it's the same people over and over again. They will leave, and some people leave the whole thing, the whole amount of weight that they were using, even if it's multiple plates, and they just walk away. That's just plain being lazy and ignorant, in my opinion, and not having consideration for anyone else in the gym. Please don't do that. Most people are going to definitely look at you negative if you do that. Wipe down. Now, this is something that has changed massively since COVID. Before COVID, almost nobody wiped down anything unless they were a big-time person that would sweat, and no one thought anything of it. And now, since the hype of COVID, we have some people that are really into you wiping down the equipment, and some people don't like it. I don't like when people wipe down equipment. I realize that we survive because our bodies build defenses based on germs that other people left behind. So unless you are sweating, I don't care. In fact, I've told people that were getting ready to come and wipe it down with these chemical sprays, just don't do it. And they just can't believe I don't want them to do it. But I don't want to lay on a bunch of chemicals. If you do wipe it down, please make sure you bring a paper towel to dry it, because these chemical sprays that they have people using today, they are slow drying. And I don't want to have to stand there waiting for 5 minutes for something to dry, or have to walk over and find a paper towel and dry it off. So I've said my piece about that. You can tell that's one of my big things there. And now the nuke of all nukes, the thing you do not want to do. And that is when someone is performing a set, they're performing the exercises, do not walk over to them and say anything. They're trying to concentrate. They're trying to make sure their form is good during the exercise, and especially the more advanced the lifter is, they're more into that. Don't walk over and say, "Excuse me, are you using that?" And they're pointing to some rope or something else that's left on the ground before you got there, and they want to use it now, but they don't want to wait the 30 seconds for you to get done your set to ask you then. No, they want to interrupt you right in the middle. And trust me, I am with 98% of the people at the gym. Do not do this. There is no reason to interrupt somebody in the middle of a set unless you are stopping somebody from getting bodily harm. Most sets last less than a minute. It's not that long to wait. There's the nuclear option. Here's a step down from the nuclear option, which some people find that is pretty strong as well. And that is people coming up to you and saying, "How many sets do you have left?" Generally speaking, most people are going to do 2 to 5 sets. And the longest in between set period is going to be about 4 minutes. In a lot of cases, even shorter than that. So generally speaking, someone is going to be on a machine 10 to 15 minutes, or at a station 10 to 15 minutes. If you stand there, trust me, people will know that you're waiting. And I would rather them stand there and wait and see if I want to ask them if they want to work in. Most of the time I will. I'll ask them if they want to work in. Most of the time they say no, and that's their choice. It's up to them. And so you got the nuclear option, and you got the step down from there, which is, to me, I don't even want to have somebody ask me that, but that's me. I think most people actually look at that as being polite, because that is the polite way of saying, how much longer do you have? That's what it is. But at first, if it was me, I would avoid it until you get used to it. I never ask anybody how long they're going to be. If I'm going to be at a station that I'm looking for and I see somebody on it, I will start noticing before I'm finished whatever I'm doing now. And so I'll have an idea how long they've been on it. And again, 10 to 15 minutes at most. is most people. And so with that, we've got one left, and that is past negative experiences. The only thing I can really say about this is, first of all, I'm sorry you had to go through something like that keeps you from wanting to go back and, of course, repeat the situation. Some of the tips already given here may apply to this situation, which is go with somebody else the next time. Go when it's not crowded. You may want to get a coach to start with. Go to the emptiest part of the gym. These different things could be applied to help you get back there. And lastly, of course, if it's really deep, emotional, seek counseling, probably first with a friend. Talk it out, talk it through, because past negative experiences affecting your future outcomes should not be allowed, because the risks and the things that are coming are too great for that to take a hold and change your whole future. But I do understand that this is a deep emotional barrier that some people have. And so with that, I hope you found this educational. Please share this with anyone who has apprehensions with going to the gym. I really think it would help. And see you in the next video, guys.